This is another episode of Talks with Tyler ISD, a podcast about the passionate people who have a heart for students. This podcast is brought to you by Texas Bank and Trust. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Talks with Tyler ISD. I am your host, Jennifer Hines, and joining us today is Dr. Kristen Walls, who is the new Executive Director of College and Career for the entire school district. So you are over quite a bit when it comes to career and technology education. But first, tell us a little bit about your background, because you didn't start out in education, but it makes sense that you are in CTE.
Exactly. I started out, honestly, as a cosmetologist. I wanted to have some sort of trade to help me pay for college. And so from there, I went on to become a doctor of chiropractic and then worked in the medical field for a number of years. Actually, a friend contacted me and said, would you ever be interested in teaching a health class? And I'm like, I don't know. And I did.
Let's try it. Why not?
It ended up becoming my love. My passion, and so ever since then I've been in education.
And it's kind of married those things together, and you've been in education 16 years, 14 years with Tyler ISD. Tell us a little bit about your path as you've moved up, because you've been principal at a few schools, you've served in different roles. Tell us about that.
It is. So when I came to Tyler, I was at Lee back then, and then when this building, not this building, but the Career and Technology Center was built, I came as a teacher leading the health science program. From then I went back to Lee, now known as Legacy, and was the assistant principal for a few years. Then principal of Hogg in 2020, 2021, principal of Legacy, 2022, director of Career and Technology, and now in 2023, I'm the executive director of College and Career.
So you've just kept moving on up,
Yes.
It seems like. Well, let's talk a little bit about what the basic definition of CTE means for those that have no clue what that even is.
Okay, so CTE is Career and Technical Education. And when people hear that, they're thinking, it might be voc ed. Like, they think of visions of, especially of those in the past, that the back shop that nobody really gets to see, and things of that nature. And that's completely not what it is anymore. It is in pretty much every career pathway that you can think of. We have so many things that we do, and especially here at the Career and Technology Center, really putting some of that hands-on skills, work-based learning, my goodness, employability skills is embedded in everything from 8th grade all the way up until they graduate as a senior. So making sure that our talent stays here in Tyler.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and this is a phenomenal state-of-the-art building, very appreciative to the community for supporting the building of this facility, and we're able to do a lot here and kind of create that pipeline that you were just talking about into the Tyler and Smith County area workforce. Super important. Talk to us a little bit about prerequisites, like as students are moving through the Tyler ISD system, kind of at what point do they kind of start thinking about some of these different pathways that come through the CTC?
Oddly enough, it kind of starts way back in elementary school. We do have some of our seniors that go visit those courses. Our education students, they'll teach some classes in elementary and middle school. Then we really kind of hone in a little bit of more exploration in the middle school years. One specifically in 8th grade, we have Career and College Explorations course, where the students look at all the different types of pathways. They think about what I want to do when I get older. And then they come to the CTC, which is the Career and Technology Center, and get to explore all the different areas, get some hands-on things, talk to many of our juniors and seniors about their programs, get really excited about it. So it really helps them think about not just what I'm going to go to school for, but what my career is, and that way I can pave my way. Or I think this is what I want to do, and then realizing, oh my goodness, that's definitely not what it is. And that's going to be a real savings if somebody goes to college for that particular reason, then realizes it later. So it's a great time to kind of explore, I guess you would say.
Absolutely. I mean, as a parent, I have a daughter that's about to be in 9th grade, and she's like, I want to be a pediatric surgeon. I'm like, do you really know? Okay, well, she's now on the med tech track. And I'm like, you're going to know before we even start considering your college and, going on to become a doctor and getting into med school, all of that, which is super expensive, if this is really the path for you. So it really is a win-win. It tells you if it's really going to be your love, or maybe you might want to think about a different career path, which is really neat. And so versatile here. You mentioned cosmetology at the beginning. That's one of them, but we have 26 different pathways here. Tell us about some of those.
Oh my goodness. We have animal science, which goes in for those students who are interested in becoming a vet, so the vet med tech program, AV, audiovisual technology, graphics design, business. We have 3 different pathways with that, which is accounting, marketing, and business management. Of course, the health sciences, several different certifications that can be earned within that, such as patient care tech, EMT. Just there's many options. I'm thinking of manufacturing. I think of what Tyler needs, and we really look at some of that labor market data. So there's a lot of students who are really interested in robotics, and they don't exactly know what that means. We talk to them about, if you like to design robots, then engineering is your way. But if you like to work on the robots, make them work, that's manufacturing. So we have so many ways. Kind
of steer them in the direction by knowing what it is that they want to do, which is really neat. And you do kind of have these 4 cornerstones that you work through. You mentioned labor market information, like knowing what the jobs that are going to be by the time that these kids graduate. Also, you've got the classroom instruction, the work-based learning, and then also the multiple entry and exit points. I think one of the really cool things that you mentioned is the certifications. The certifications that these students get, some of these certifications allow them to go straight directly into the workforce, and I know some of them can make up to $55 an hour straight out of high school, which is unheard of, because not only can they make that their career, they could maybe use that to pay for college and go on to another
So there's
level.
A couple examples of that exactly. So we are one of the pioneers of the plumbing program. And so we have 2 seniors this year who will be able to sit at the end of the year for their tradesman's license. So throughout the past few years that they've been working with a master plumber and getting hands-on training, as well as some of that didactic learning too, have to understand what they're going to be tested on. But however, when that's done, they're going to enter the workforce with a job that could be anywhere from $50,000 to $70,000 a year as an 18-year-old.
That's crazy.
They can go back to school in, with about 2 years after working with that as a master plumber and make quite considerable amount of money. So that's one great thing. And if you're thinking about labor market data, the shortage of many of the different jobs that we do have. So, and I always like thinking about it as college and career. You mentioned your daughter interested in medicine. And so having a certification, they're getting also, many of those students, we'd like to also gear them into advanced academics as well as dual credit courses, and getting the certification, because if they work, it makes them more competitive. So if they worked for 4 years during their undergrad, when they're applying to medical school, they're going to see that they have all those skills.
And when we talk about the, coming up with this labor market information, y'all are not just pulling this out of thin air. Y'all actually have an advisory council, people that work here that are telling you what the students need to be learning, the equipment they need to be learning on, very important collaboration with our local businesses. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So we meet approximately 4 times a year. And, although our teachers are business and industry professionals, once they've been in the classroom for a little while, what seemed even 2 years ago is not exactly what's going on today. So we always want to make sure that we're doing the best, putting our best foot forward, making sure if we have any equipment, is it outdated, to ensure that that's what we're bringing in. And if we go into some of our classrooms, you're going to see that equipment. You're going to see some really exciting things. But it really is part of our partnerships, which is plus our work-based learning, and then they get to do some of the hands-on with our partners.
And I think that's great because y'all support them in so many different ways. Internships, for example. Tell us a little bit about some of the things that our students have been able to do through the internship program.
We've had a great partnership with Christus Trinity Mother Francis for a number of years, way back even when I was a health science teacher. So that's one of the things. They get to go to the hospital, shadow different types of healthcare professionals, and some of them with certifications can even hone in on some of their skills. Another one, we have different veterinary clinics around. I know one of them is Chandler Veterinary Clinic, where the students who are going into the vet med program, it gives them an idea, is becoming a veterinarian really what they want to do? Because that's just like a doctor, a physician or anything, they're gonna have to spend a number of years in order to get there. So giving that work-based learning experience, truly understanding and seeing, is this for me? Southside Bank has been a great partner when we're thinking of finance. At the Tyler Courthouse, we have a intern with Judge Wilson. So all of those things are just, we actually apply for a summer grant so we can pay for them. We have one from Hood Packaging, and we have a certain number of hours that we can pay for them. Well, then they offered him to continue on. So, I mean, these are some really great opportunities for students, especially when they're interested in that career.
And it can lead to full-time jobs after high school if that's what they want to do.
If that's what they want to do. And many of the corporations and businesses around, if the student wants to continue on with their education, a lot of them will fund it.
That's unreal. That is amazing. And, we all know that we have a very diverse economic background, so it's great that y'all also help provide and support through the professional closet where they can go in and pick out clothes for interviews and things like that. How does that all kind of work, and has that come together?
Well, we have a great work-based learning coordinator. Her name is Jessica Brown, and she started with the professional clothes closet because knowing that, and even with high school students, they don't always know what professional clothing is. They might think of what it is, but so we have a lot of donors who come in and bring sometimes brand new clothes, and the student can take it, check it out, and then that's theirs. And so we have interviews, we have an opportunity fair that comes up in the spring that they can dress professionally, even if they don't have the means, and they can go around and interview with different companies and look forward to the future. So having something like that in our community pouring in to our students, it's on a regular basis that we get clothes, and it's great to see them. And the students, the change when they put that tie on or they're on those heels and
you can see the confidence.
Absolutely.
Like you can feel that confidence growing inside of that student.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Let's talk a little bit about competition because we have won several state level, even national level awards through all of the different organizations that y'all have where they can compete.
Right. And that is, kind of a heartbeat of CTE as well. It's called the Career and Technical Student Organizations. We have several different ones. TSA, Technology Students Association, HOSA for healthcare professionals, Skills USA encompasses a number of them. Of course, we have FFA, and the list goes on.
Yes.
But we have had several that have gone to the state level, as well as actually more and more each year that are going to the national level and competing.
Yeah, that's unreal that they have that opportunity to compete. Just like you would if you were in athletics or fine arts, you can also compete in this area as well. What are some of the, things that you would like for listeners to remember as they think about career and technology education, or even about the Career and Technology Center that we have here?
I think one of the things, we have our vision, especially as parents. I'm a parent as well. I'm a parent of a senior. And I think if we think of what we remember. And it's not that.
It's totally different.
All of our children are going through school, and the ultimate goal is that we have a career someday. So CTE actually provides that opportunity for them to explore and hone skills, be competitive as they leave, sometimes as professionals when they walk across the stage and have their high school diploma. So I think that for me, I feel that all students should be involved in some sort of CTE to really just get that edge as they move forward.
Well, and I think too, it's a win-win of like also understanding, is this really what I want to do, or is this really what I maybe don't want to do? It's not what I thought it was. So it's a
savings for parents.
It's a savings for parents, but it's also, as you mentioned, exploration, and I love that they can try just such a variety of different things from the full, there's a body shop to cosmetology to veterinary health. I mean, just all of it, criminal justice. It really is interesting to see how so many different students are having successful student outcomes because of the programs that we have here.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Dr. Walls, for joining us today for this episode of Talks with Tyler ISD. We appreciate your time today. And thank you for listening to this episode. If you would like to know more about all things Tyler ISD, you can always sign up for our district newsletter at get.tylerisd.news. And you can also download our Tyler ISD app or listen to any of the other episodes from Talks with Tyler ISD.
We'd like to thank our sponsor, Texas Bank and Trust. Subscribe to Talks with Tyler ISD on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify. Please share this episode with your friends and family.